I'm starting now. Hello, my name is Matthew Johnson. I'm going to tell you about the Lexus LC 500 today. In my audience today, I have 3 audience members, starting with Jaden,
Hello.
Keegan,
How's it going?
and Dylan.
Howdy doody.
So I have 3 audience members in my audience, and right behind me is a picture of a Lexus LC 500, which I'll be talking about today. Now, the Lexus LC 500 has many features for a luxury coupe, and what you're going to be learning about today is the Lexus LC 500, the features it offers, the demographics of the Lexus LC 500, and also the difference between the Lexus LC 500 and the 500H. Now, by the end of this speech, I'm sure you guys will have a great understanding of the Lexus LC 500 and the difference between the 500 and the 500H. Now, for my first part of my speech, I'm going to get started on the features of the Lexus LC 500. Now, the Lexus LC 500 comes in 9 different exterior colors. Some of my favorites being behind you right here would be the ultra white, also the caviar. Very luxury colors. Now, the word luxury will come back in just a moment. And some other colors would be atomic silver and nightfall mica, which is more of like a bluish color. Now, after exterior, we could get on to the interior. And for that, I'm going to change my background right here. Just for reference, in the background, I have the toasted caramel interior, which is my personal favorite, but they also offer a red and also a black option for their interiors, which there's a lot of custom options that you could do on the Lexus LC 500. And now let's move on. And now that we're done with our features of the Lexus LC 500, we can move, or before we're done with our features, I would like to thank Lexus.com for the amazing graphics that I was able to show you during this presentation. Now let's move on to the demographics of the Lexus LC 500. Now the demographics, it's going to be about what's the target audience for a car like this? Is it a sports guy kind of car? Is it a luxury guy kind of car? Or is it someone who's looking for an expensive luxury car? Now, it's more of a luxury guy kind of car, even though there's amazing horsepower in this car. Now, LC in the Lexus LC 500, the LC part stands for luxury coupe. And I could thank Drive.com for explaining that to me, because I feel like that's an important part of a car, is understanding the secrets behind like shorter names like LC. Makes it kind of interesting. Now that we're done with the demographics of our speech, we can move on to our last main point, which would be the difference between the Lexus LC 500 and the Lexus LC 500H. Now the H meaning hybrid, which is actually a more expensive model to buy. Now, the 0 to 60 in the normal 500 would be 4.4 seconds, which is really great for a car that's luxury because it also has speed, even though it's targeting more of a luxury market. Now the 500H, on the other hand, which is a hybrid, given the letter H at the end of 500, it has a 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds, which is also great, but it's kind of weird that the hybrid that's more expensive is a little slower. And I would like to thank Lexus of LE High Valley for that great information about telling me the 0 to 60. And if you haven't seen already, I have my favorite shirt on, which is a picture actually of a Lexus LC 500 and also the interior of the toasted caramel. Now that we've learned about the features that the Lexus LC 500 offers, also the demographics that the Lexus LC 500 is targeting, and also the difference between the 500 and the 500H, I feel like we all have a great understanding and more information that we didn't know prior to hearing about our speech. And thank you to my 3 audience members. They were actually able to see me. Here's actually a view of. They were actually able to see me during my entire speech, and here's my note card I used during my speech. And thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.